very good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Sean.
This is Alex.
And this is Sven.
And you're listening to another episode of Coast of Kings Radio. And today's episode is new for 2024, Europe edition.
Yay.
Led by our most amazing friend, Svenjamin.
Yes.
Europe is calling.
Europe is calling.
And
We're answering the phone.
Europe got some cute shit going up. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like, it's not the most amazing year ever, but there are some quite big highlights. And there's a good list of roller coaster being added, but mostly like family coasters. But yeah, then again, it's nice, especially in Germany. It will be harder to get your country coaster count up to date because they're everywhere.
Oh, we're excited because we're actually planning on doing a little Germany trip again next spring. So it'll be
That's cool.
good time if everything's open, I guess. If everything's open.
Yes.
So where are we starting? We're in Europe.
Yeah, the idea was to go like through the list of the countries, because of course Europe is not just one country with a lot of different places. No, it's lots of different countries and parks, smaller parks, bigger parks. But yeah, let's start in Austria. So Austria, there's two parks that are getting something nice. Family Park Nüzilesee. Sorry if I mispronounced that for our German-speaking friends. Part of the Company des Alpes group, and I think they did like a mass order for the ART swing rides, because there's quite a few popping up in the parks, but this one will be called Wild Swing, and so it's like basically it's a family top spin, so it doesn't spin upside down, but it's just like a bench, a swinging bench.
Interesting.
Are those the smaller ones?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think I've seen it on IAPA.
I'm looking up this park now. I recognize this park. It's the one that has the same like drunken turtle wave swinger that
I did not realize this was part of CDA.
Land has.
Yeah, it took a. It's quite recent compared to some of the other parks of CDA, but their biggest addition was Biberberg. It's like a big
intimate coaster flume thing.
Coaster flume, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like the predecessor to the one coming to the launched one coming
to San Antonio.
Yeah. So it feels like I've ridden it, and it feels like okay, this was definitely, I wouldn't say a kind of prototype, but like it didn't feel like a prototype, but it was something unique, you know. Like I haven't done anything like it.
Yeah.
And this is the one that James took a video of, right?
Yes, correct.
Like we got some cool reels. So if anyone listening wants to see this ride type in action, on our European Coast Kings Instagram channel, there's a really cool reel of this water coastery flume launch-ish ride in action. Really,
this park also has a Pegasus clone, or the Mac Youngstar.
Oh, cool!
Pegasus.
Yes. And what's also new is that they still have like a fairy tale forest. So some part of the park really has some Efteling vibes because it's a forest and it's only certain trees that they can remove, etc. But so the statues and all that, it's actually owned by someone else, and they had to return to that person. So that's why they came up with new statues and a whole new fairy tale forest, paying homage to the old fairy tale houses, etc. So that's also something that will be. So it's the park. It's also waiting for expansion on approval on expansion of the park, like to increase it in size. And if that goes through, I think it will be more on the radar again, that park. So it's nice to see that CDA is really going for it, because they claim themselves to be the only theme park in Austria, so not amusement park. And it definitely has a special vibe. So it's nice to see that
there's the
kind
flat
of
ride.
parks get some love.
I'm looking at a picture of it now.
And I love good old fairy tale.
It looks like a trebuchet. I love that.
Oh, they look cute. They look very themable. That's even a word.
Yes, but so that's getting an update as well.
Yeah. That looks
and
like a lot of
also
fun.
in Austria, not too far from that, we of course have Wiener Prater. Now, normally there would have been a Wiener looping coaster, but that project got cancelled, unfortunately. So no roller coaster there, unless probably we'll have Olympia looping back there for the 2024 season. Not confirmed, but just like it was there for the last 2 years, if I remember correctly. So probably that one will be back.
So historically, right, at what time of the year does Olympia looping come back? Is it spring?
So like end of spring until beginning of September, because then it moves to Oktoberfest. Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes, but they will normally also get a new ride called Laser Dance, and it's the new generation Huss breakdance coming to Wiener Prater. It's close to the Vekoma coaster. The building was already there when we were there for IAPA in September. And what's different about this breakdance is like the operator booth is in the middle, if I remember correctly. So it's more has like a DJ vibe and.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a breakdance where it's in the middle.
Yeah, I guess that's new for the new version of the ride. That's very like funfair-esque of them to do that. Very clever.
And I mean it fits perfectly for a park like Wiener Prater, because it's basically a permanent fun fair.
Yeah.
But it will be very much laser focused. It's the Breakdance 5. I'm not 100% sure if it's true that it's actually in the middle, but it's I thought that was the operator center stage enables a whole new spectacle for riders and spectators alike.
Interesting.
That looks pretty snazzy.
Mm-hmm. So, it's been a while since we've seen a ride from Huss, if I'm not mistaken, especially in Europe.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of
they've done some Asian projects. Like we rode
the Flying Theater at Happy Valley Shanghai.
But it was, I don't know, it was a really interesting concept where the Flying Theater was really on like giant sticks, and then the hydraulics were insane to lift it all up. It seemed like a really impractical way of doing a flying theater.
Yeah.
There have been other companies doing it a whole lot more efficiently after, so I don't think it's sold very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, next up is Belgium, my home country. And so Walibi Belgium just opened a new pair of water slides. So they pimped up their Aqualibi park. And I think that's most of the expansion that we'll see also going through the next season, because they are working on a new roller coaster, but rumor has it that it would only be beginning of 25. So we'll have to see, because their Sidecar XL of this year was announced like in February or something, so it was pretty much a surprise that ride was all of a sudden there. But, I mean, the big focus of CDA in Belgium will be in Bellewaerde Park, because that's one of the major expansions in Europe. So that park is investing in a whole new themed area, a Brazil-themed area, which is pretty unique from my knowledge of parks around the world. And it will have a mini log flume. It will have a kiddie roller coaster, as it used to be the site where we had the Keverbaan, so like a Tivoli Zierer roller coaster, an old one.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be the oldest one in Belgium.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's gone. But so at least they have a new kiddie roller coaster. And then, of course, the Intamin Rapid Slide for to call it something, because
that thing looks cool.
Pretty. It's a huge new type of attraction. You have a 26-meter high lift that takes the boats up, and then you go on. Yeah. It's like a kind of slide structure, so it's really hard to imagine.
Giant water
it's kind
slide.
of like a beefed up version of what Whitewater West has been trying to sell, with mixed results, because they've mostly only sold them to parks in China. But like kind of like the thing that we rode at Wuchi Sunak Land, that was like the Whitewater West raft slide, but it was several individual slides threaded together with like little lazy river portions in between. That's kind of what this reminds me of, because you have like two major sequences with like a flume in between.
But the boats are more like rapids.
The boats are like rapids, right?
Yeah, that's the thing here. It's like,
boats.
What will the boat be? Because we know the dinghy type of boats like l'Oxygenarium and Parc Asterix.
Exactly.
And, there's also one in Thor Park.
Yeah,
Hansa Park. Yeah,
Hansa Park, exactly.
Guangzhou Sunak Land has one.
It feels like the boats here are more towards like a rapid river type of boat.
Yeah, see, for those that know the new Rapids ride at Silver Dollar City, and you know how it has kind of like a really thick flume section on top, but the Rapids ride goes through it. I think that's practically what the whole ride's going to look like. It looks like a beefier water slide with a Rapids ride kind of boat going through it. It certainly is very unique, and Bellewaerde, this is the first time they pulled some unique stunts where it's like, why would they build this?
Bellewaerde builds the weirdest
They build the wildest stuff.
every time.
It's going to be just another one of those, yeah.
But it looks like very substantial and cool.
It is large, though.
It doesn't seem like
large.
a gimmick. It seems like very clever. Also, it has one traditional lift hill and one elevator lift hill.
Yes. So it's like, it's not a major roller coaster, but it's a major water ride in Europe. So
this is it's an e-ticket, like a major. This thing looks more terrifying and substantial than any roller coaster they've ever built.
Yeah. The only thing that reassures me is that it's Intamin that is building it. So, because if it would have been like ABC rides, or not something against ABC rides, but the type of ride and innovation makes me more think of a company like Intamin, So total investment of
makes me feel
23
confident
million.
or not.
That's a lot of money for it was essentially a beefed up water slide. But
No, but it's also for the theming, the kiddie roller coaster. I think it also includes a retheming of the existing log flume. So it used to be a western area, and all that will be turned into the Brazil area.
Did we even ride the log flume there, or did we not?
No, we did not.
Time?
The line was, I think, really long for it.
Was
we
like
also had to go
something.
somewhere else afterwards.
If you're asking yourself why a park in Belgium is building a $23 million water ride, look no further than the fact that their water rides always have the longest lines of anything in that park.
Even with the bad weather here.
Except for Dawson Duel.
And there's another reason, because, of course, Bellewaerde is very close to Plopsaland, and they need to keep up, and they also always want to build things that Plopsaland doesn't have.
Yeah.
Now, Plopsaland...
That they achieved.
Yes, but Plopsaland is not investing in a new major ride this year. In 24. But they are expanding their Plopsa village. So they already have the hotel, and these are like themed houses to the Studio 100 characters, and also some other characters. So they're really going for the resort approach in Plopsa. And I mean, Ride to Happiness is still there and strong.
Yeah.
And then in 25, they will invest in a new attraction, but unknown for now what it will be.
And Vegas opened a new dark ride earlier. Was it 2023 or 2022?
This year. No, they opened it this year, but we'll keep that for our 2023 recap episode.
That's true. This park is fun. Boudewijn Sea Park. Do you even know what Boudewijn Sea Park is?
That rings a bell.
They have an orca-themed activity coaster.
Yes. So Boudewijn Sea Park is located in Bruges. Some people might know it because Bruges is probably the most touristic city in Belgium, and it's pretty much a museum to walk in. And Boudewijn Sea Park, they had an old building, if I remember correctly, that they demolished, and that they will put a new attraction. But yeah, honestly, I don't expect too much from it. It's really a family kiddie park approach that they have. So
they have one of the Zero Shamu coasters there.
Yeah. So like I said, the little scene.
Yeah, that's their. If you want the coaster bingo in Belgium, then it's one of the parks to pass by, and it's a fun little coaster.
I need that park. I need indoor hostels, and I need Co.
It's like a suit that, like, SeaWorld never built a Tivoli coaster this big. We've got all of the little orcas. It's a massive 20 orca train.
Yeah, that train is huge. A
pod of 20 orcas.
I'd say it's the longest train in Belgium, but that's not true because we have the longest one in the world. So.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so overdue for a ride on Revolution. Speaking of which, I don't see Bobby Island on the list. Is there nothing coming for Bobby Island?
Well, they will start the season with a Dino Exposition. That's a traveling Dino Exposition that will be there temporarily, and that, from what I've read, will be included in the admission at the start of the season. But other than that, I have no news of new attractions for now. So that's Belgium. Let's go to Poland, because Poland is busy in 2024, because not only will we have a new themed area, but we'll have 2 brand new parks opening up. So, but let's talk about Energylandia first. The park everybody knows because they have so many roller coasters, including Zadra and one of the new gen Vekoma's Abysses.
But then they canceled like the coolest damn ride.
Yes, well,
they were very public
talk about that
too.
one then. The one that got canceled is the tilt coaster. For now, rumor has it that it's no longer on schedule. But to be fair, Energylandia has already a lot going on, so I prefer that they invest their money in keeping
maintaining the place, and
there's still some areas in the park that are like the complete opposite of the new areas theming wise,
Yeah.
Like the OG Energylandia is still visible. It's like a park within a park. So I'd prefer that they invest that money first in that, and then maybe later go for the tilt coaster.
I agree.
But they also need to open the Sweet Valley area that's been was standing but not operating for like 2 years already. Because I went, I think it was in 2020, and the Vekoma mine train was already testing. So it's like...
Wow,
it was testing in 2020.
Cycling? That's crazy.
Yeah. So in
my head it's open, but I know it's not.
Half of the theming was already finished
March, right?
as well. Yes. So finally, they will open the Sweet Valley area, so like a candy themed area with Vekoma mine train, and then also several attractions. There's also smaller Vekoma coasters. I lost count of how many. Yeah, I lost count of how many Vekoma Junior coasters they have at that park.
They've got like every production model, including multiple Vekoma family boomerangs.
Imagine that being a legacy, just a kiddie coaster park, which it really truly kind of is.
And
I look forward to going there just for the sheer excess of it.
Yeah, and I think because they already have like the classic Vekoma boomerang. And so Choco Chip Creek is the mine train, and Honey Harbor is the the family Vekoma, and apparently it's a Calypso model.
Yeah, it's a new production model for them, like relatively. There's not very many of that ride layout available in operation yet. It's like a little bit more bold.
Other one in Europe about a park which we'll keep for the end of the episode, but you know,
foreshadowing.
Ooh, so stay here.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But yeah, Energylandia, they will add the 2 new roller coasters, which will bring them to 19 in total. So
it's terrifying.
So close to Magic
Mountain better watch out. Well, they're already working on something major apparently, so I guess they're getting in position.
Yeah. Plus the roller coaster at Magic Mountain, like most of it is a major roller coaster.
Yeah, it's like
it's like
16 major roller coasters versus 4 kiddie coasters, and then there's 16 kiddie coasters versus 4
Magic Mountain might lose the coaster race in terms of numbers strictly at some point, but they will never lose the best coaster collection, at least not for a while. It's going to take a lot for another park to actually build that many roller coasters of substance compared to Magic Mountain. Yeah.
But there's more in Poland. So 2 new parks coming. One of them is Mayaland Gdansk. So after opening one in Konati near Berlin and in Warsaw, the capital of Poland, the Momentum Group and Plopsa is opening the 3rd park in Poland. So what they want to do is to create like a diamond of parks in Poland. And so this is the 3rd park of the diamond because it's all up north. And the 4th one should be Katowice, so near Legendia and Energylandia. But that's it's probably very similar to the other Mayaland ones, except that we know here that they will integrate the Smurfs, as Plopsa has now a good relationship with the company that has the rights for it. Because also in 25 they're reopening the dark ride in Holiday Park, but with a Smurfs team.
Nice.
And Plopsaco, the Vekoma roller coaster, also there already has a Smurf team.
Right.
So they're working together on that, and we'll see one of the first Smurf attractions in Poland here. And then the other park is still a bit of a mystery park because we've seen some footage. Because construction is going strong, and we've seen some concept arts. But Hossoland is a brand new theme park, a bit history themed from what we can see, and we know that some companies that are working on it. So Mac Rides is working there, Mac Next is working there, Whitewater is working there, Joravision is working there. So basically this park will have one major roller coaster. It's unknown what type or which one. Like if it's like a very thrilling one or a family thrill, we'll have to see. But yeah, opening scheduled for 2024. So hopefully.
Do we know who's doing the coaster? Is it Mac doing the coaster for them? We don't know.
No. No confirmation of construction of that.
Okay.
But if we see it, then you'll see it on the Coaster Kings for sure. But the concept arts look pretty promising. There's also a rapid ride, so that might be the Whitewater one. There's a frisbee ride as well on the concept arts. So they really look nice, and it will be exciting to discover this park and what it holds in 2024. Now, this park, not sure if they pronounce it correctly, but it's called Fantazia Liptov Park, and it's in Slovakia. Now, the coaster itself is not that special because it's an Intertech family roller coaster, but it's actually the first non-bobsled roller coaster in Slovakia.
Yay!
So, and it's a spinning. The vehicles look like SBF Visa spinning coaster vehicles. So, and it's in an indoor park. But yeah, finally a roller coaster in Slovakia.
I feel like I recognize this.
Yeah, I don't think I can name a single roller coaster in Slovakia. Is this the first one? No, it cannot be.
But they only have bobsled coasters.
It's the first roller coaster by Intertech. Also,
they got Alpines. Okay, got you.
It's a Slovakian-based company. Imagine that. Okay.
Yeah.
We love a little internal situation.
And it's like an SBF Visa spinner type ride, but it's a double helix looking layout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love that for her. It's an indoor park.
Yes. So I guess they saw what happens in the other Eastern European parks, and they're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, they want a piece of that.
It's interesting to see
what
what's coming in Eastern Europe, because you noticed at IAPA that quite some parks are popping up here and there, and if they have the potential to grow, then we might see more thrilling coasters in the future, hopefully, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Denmark. And in Denmark, we have some very nice parks. One of them, Djurs Sommerland.
Djurs Sommerland.
Yeah, they've always have been building some nice attractions. And this year, in 2024, they will open a fun time drop tower.
Oh, nice. Those are good.
Yeah, 60 meter high. And it will be in the Mexico area of the park, where we can also find Juwelen, the Intamin motorbike coaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's a park that keeps investing, because this year and over the last 2 years, they had the dinosaur area that they opened, which looked really nice with the disco coaster in there and Mack powered coaster. Lots of fun flat rides for the kids, and now Mexico is the next area that they are improving. So I quite like this park.
They've had a very aggressive expansion plan.
Yes.
Like, I went there in 2011 when the Mack water coaster was brand new, and they only had 4 roller coasters, and now they have 8.
Oh, yes.
5 total new coasters, because they replaced their Wacky Worm with...
But it's a really nice park, and like each area is a bit secluded. Like you can immerse yourself, let's say, in the area, and they have the space for it. So
I remember the pirate area being really impressive, because that's what they had been working on, and when they added the water coaster, they had sort of finished fleshing out that area. Because obviously they got the Intamin Megalite, and they've got the water coaster and a miniature log flume and stuff. It was just a really solid area. I think they had just started moving into the direction of doing themed vignetted lands that all had a major coaster or two.
Yes,
yeah, I love that
giant square there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really love that park. And another park I really enjoy is Farup Sommerland, more in the north of Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
After their new gen Vekoma, I think this year or last year they opened the carousel. And for 2024, it's one of the biggest expansions that they're doing on the water park. 2 new slides, one of them being 21 meter high, and it combines a tailspin and a boomerang element. So first of its kind. Of course, it's a Sommerland, so water parks are an important element of that.
Right.
And it's such a soothing park. Like, you walk around there basically in a forest, and there's no park music or anything. You can really
oh, really?
come at
Yeah,
ease.
I do recall that. I remember feeling like we were just in a campground, and then there was roller coasters peppered around. You'd turn a corner and oh, there's a roller coaster here, or a rapids ride.
Yes. And the final edition in Denmark is one of the bigger roller coasters coming to Europe in 24, and that's Vindfald. I'm saying it in a German way, but I should say it in a Danish way, but I don't know Danish. Sorry. It's a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. It's been a while since we saw a new Eurofighter, I think. It's mostly been
the last
Infinity coasters,
new Eurofighter was that one in France, I believe.
You know, that was an Infinity.
La Récré de Trois Curés.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah, it was like actually... There's some confusion about the difference between a Eurofighter and an Infinity coaster, but I guess it has something to do with the ride vehicles that they use more than, like, the track bed and stuff. Eurofighters have to have, like, the standard train with the shoulder harnesses, and it's a smaller vehicle to achieve higher clearance envelopes, or I guess lower clearance envelopes. And the shoulder harnesses are necessary to keep people from, like, losing their fingertips and stuff because some of the clearances are so tight.
Actually, there was one that opened last year, and that's Defiance in Glenwood Caverns.
Oh yeah,
that one. That is a Eurofighter.
But that one doesn't have. It doesn't have. I thought it had lap bars.
No, it has shoulder harnesses.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, there's more than I thought, but it looks like a very compact one, so it makes me think of Falcon at Downrail.
It's very short. It's like not even 1,000 feet.
It's
but
300
still satisfying.
meters long. Yeah, 23 meters high.
Gets
the
the
park
job done.
is Tivoli Freiheden is in
Tivoli
Aarhus, which is a
Freiheden.
beautiful city, and it replaces the Cobra roller coaster, which had an accident in
the little murder machine.
Yes, they used to have a looping star there too. Is that still there? The Hurricane's Eye.
No,
Okay,
they
gone
will have 4 roller coasters with this one. So they have an SBF Visa spinning coaster. They have a little Pinfari coaster, similar to a Wacky Worm. And then Typhoonin is like a Zamperla Wild Mouse.
That was my 250th credit, was their spinning mouse. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's ages ago.
I know. And yeah, also both of their major, like both of their looping coasters that I rode there are gone now for Vindfald as their replacement. Seems like a much more substantial and unique addition.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to Finland now, and in Linnanmäki, the park in the capital, Helsinki, they will add an Intamin gyro swing, a swingy. Love that name. It's replacing the
Me and Roller Coaster
The names of their rides are always the funniest.
But I mean, it's probably a Finnish thing. Finnish is such a hard language. Like when you walk around there and you try to understand something, you're like, nope. It's all huge words. So this is nice and short, swingy.
I love they have their Intamin Zack Spin, which like it's a terrifying ride, even though it's like so 10 seconds long.
Oh, Kiernu?
I love that
ride. Clown.
Yeah. And so swingy replaces the former top spin attraction there. So I didn't ride it because I didn't bother. But
they had a beautiful top spin there. Oh, that's sad.
That's true. It did
a fabulous color
have
scheme.
A nice location. Yeah, but I mean, to have this instead, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
And then Sarkaniemi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
We call it Sarkaniemi, but it's probably not accurate either. Sarkaniemi.
Well, that park. They have like a big investment plan, and it's a bit unclear what they will open for 2024, if they open something at all. But we'll keep an eye on that as well. Now, Sweden, to stay in the Nordic regions, for Gröna Lund, they also have an expansion planned where it's a bit unclear when.
They're trying to build their tilt coaster.
Tilt coaster?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the most up-to-date version of their expansion that I saw. For years, they wanted to build the B&M invert in this parking lot, but they gave up on that and just smashed it into the existing park. So now the anchor attraction for this planned expansion that they keep pitching to the city the focus will be a tilt coaster, if it gets built. It's one of the four.
Okay. I'm loving these tilt coasters.
It's one of the four,
everywhere.
because at one point Vekoma had 4 tilt coasters coming down the pipe. Codaland, Energylandia, Saudi Arabia, which that one's almost finished. Like, they've been building it and it's almost done. And Grunelands. But it's like they've never. There's there's no guarantees. Like, none of these coasters, it's very clear when they will open. Saudi Arabia is going to be finished first, but the park is probably not going to open before Codaland opens theirs. Even though Codaland's, the pieces have just started arriving and they haven't started building it yet. Gruneland will probably happen third if it happens. Now that Energylandia is bowing out entirely. But all I know is that 4 of these have actually been produced. Like, the rides exist, the pieces and whatnot, so...
Okay.
If whoever doesn't take one of these coasters could be an opportunity for another park to swoop it up, like what Six Flags Great Adventure did with the Vekoma Super Boomerang, so... Fingers crossed.
Okay. Well, I don't think that one will be for 24, though, but...
No.
And given the situation with Jetline, it's also unsure, like, okay, how did their season go this year, and how will that affect their investment plan? So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope they get new trains for Jetline, like Gerschlauers or something. It's not the first time that a Schwarzkopf coaster like crashed and the lap bars, because they're spring loaded, like popped open and ejected people. Like, this has happened before, and it's just a design flaw in Schwarzkopf's old trains. So like, it's probably time for a lot of these parks with the standard lap bar Schwarzkopf trains to start replacing them with like something a little bit safer. Or maybe a hydraulic lap bar, or just something that won't pop open when you crash into something.
And speaking of Schwarzkopf, I saw the Fun Park Biograd one is for sale. So that's interesting to see if someone will scoop that up.
Wait, what kind of Schwarzkopf is it?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. So hang on. It's a Silver Arrow.
Oh, so like Scorpion at Busch Gardens Tampa.
Oh, yes. Now that you mention it.
And a park in the UK had one for a while too.
Yeah, Camelot,
yeah. And it burned down. I remember that now. It had like a paper mache ass looking castle around it, and it caught fire and the whole ride burned down.
Yeah, so at the moment it's in Croatia, but apparently it's for sale. So, well, we've seen that it's for sale, so...
Maybe Busch Gardens Tampa will buy it for parts.
Well, we'll have to see. But back to Sweden, where we have Leesburg that's opening their water park, Oceana Water World. And it's amazing how they can fit all that into the plot of land of Leesburg. But
I'm a little surprised that they can fit that.
It will have 4 major slides, including a water coaster typey.
Oh yeah, I see.
Water slide, like the what's the one called in Universal Volcano Bay again? Krakatoa, yeah. So that type. I don't think it will be that long, but that type of.
So it's a magnetic slide.
Potentially, I don't know the details that well, but there's not that many of them in Europe, or at least not mainland Europe, that I know of. But so that's for Sweden. Now it's time for France. And in France, I just, each time I need to say that in English, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. If you don't know, like, look up the Miss Universe France videos, and you'll have a good laugh. There's quite some things happening in France, including some major coasters for Europe. One park is actually reopening, if all goes according to plan. It's called Ballpark. It's a small park in the north of France, and it will open as Fairyland, reopen with 50 new attractions. And on the concept art, we can see like a Zierer elevated seating coaster, so a bit like Spirou racing at Parc Spirou, and also like a Skyfly. No, actually, it's not a Skyfly. It's the it's a flying thrill ride where you have like the 4 seats and on an arm that goes upside down. I can't come up with the name now, but
like a Fabry booster type thing.
Yeah, they have one in Drayton Manor, an air race. I think that's the
a Zamperla air race. Got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like that vehicle, but the concept art is a bit dodgy, to say the least. So that will be a new, semi-new park to visit. Then
so how far north are we talking? Are we talking like north of Paris?
Oh yeah. It's more like in Nord-Pas-de-Calais. So if I look it up here, it's about, I'd say, a 1 hour or 1 hour and a half drive of Calais.
It's only 48 kilometers from Plopsaland-de-Pana.
Yeah.
So it's not bad at all. Okay, so it's real close to your house.
Pretty much, yeah. But I think it's a family park type. Oh, it's actually 20 minutes from Calais, so that's really close. Didn't expect that.
Not sort of getting a new/old reopened theme park in his neighborhood, practically. Cute.
Yeah, but I think it used to be like a very local kiddie park, and so now it might be a little bit more. So we'll have to see. If we're looking at the CDA parks in France, then quite a few of them is getting new rides. First one is Futuroscope, which will get La Centrale Hydraulique, and that's also the art flat ride that Family Park is getting. So the family swing type attraction. They're also getting a mini flume ride like Bellewaerde. So I don't know if they did some joint orders or not, but
yeah,
sounds like it.
Why not?
Yeah.
And
Company
it's
does
also
coming through with building these multiple attraction expansions for their parks, like 3 rides. Love that.
And then they're not only getting new rides, but they're also getting a complete water park. So the Aquascope, and so it's like the second gate to the resort, let's say, because Futuroscope is quite big. And they have like a hub because there's an event center next to it as well. So it's really, there's nothing in the region except Futuroscope, so everyone goes there. Because there's quite some big artists performing in that arena as well. But now with a water park, it will boost, of course, their hotels that they have, because this year they opened like a nature eco lodge type of resort, and it will definitely extend people being there. And the Aquascope, when you look at the concept art, should have about 8 slides, which is not bad, and the style is totally into Futuroscope. It's for those that don't know the park, it's like the Future World section of Epcot, but then
it's what Epcot aspires to be, or once aspired.
Yeah, because when I visited Epcot, I thought I would see something like that, but what Futuroscope does is far more outstretched and iconic buildings, and so their water park will definitely be something special, I think. The other CDA park, Jardin d'Acclimatation, not entirely CDA park to be fair, but
okay, yeah, I didn't realize it was
operated
CDA
by
either.
them.
Yeah, okay.
There used to be an iconic Socket Dragon roller coaster, family coaster, which got removed, and in 24 it will become a Gerstlauer family coaster. So exciting. I mean, it's a nice new credit in Paris. So
we should have ridden that. We should have gone there when it still had the old coaster and gotten the credit, but we've just been too busy going to Disneyland Paris.
Oop.
I get that, yeah. But this year it was actually a Wacky Worm Dragon that they put instead, cause
like a temporary one.
Yes. So the I think the old one was already removed, if I remember correctly. And then the third park is Parc Asterix, which is getting a Star Flyer in the Egypt area.
Oh, nice.
And the whole, I think there's also a new food and beverage kebab or stand, semi-restaurant, a quick service restaurant coming too in that area. So they're plussing a little bit the Egypt area again.
Isn't the Star Flyer going where the helix is on what's it called?
It's
Osiris?
right in between. It's right in between Tutatis and Osiris, actually.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, so right behind that. Okay, cool. Nice. It'll be a good fit. I think it's a cute fit for sure.
And it's funny because Parc Asterix, you did not used to see it from the highway at all, and now the Osiris already was the big like, hello, we're here.
Yeah.
Then you had Tutatis that in the winter is popping out, and now the Star Flyer will of course be.
The Star Flyer is a perfect lightning rod for this park of of people seeing it from the highway and taking notice.
Because for now, the only way to go up was the bar. Attraction. I can't. The name escapes me, but basically you have to pay for a drink and then you can go up. So you don't have to pay for the ride, but you have to pay for a drink. So now there will be another way via the Star Flyer. And then the fourth park of CDA is probably one of the most anticipated roller coasters for 24, and that's the Mahuka Intamin Hot Rod or Hot Racer roller coaster, single rail
Hot Racer,
coaster.
yeah.
Hot Racer. So only the second one of its type, and the other one being in Australia, so not riding that one soon. But
I'm excited for this one because the double launch, but then I think mostly for the theming, it's very much giving, Conda-ish vibes with the exotic theme that they're doing for it. And the layout is honestly pretty cool. Like, it's a cool layout, quite long. I mean, I'm kind of used to Ron-Alp getting the shorter coasters, but it's, I think, longer than the one in Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
It's about 600 meters, so...
That's not bad.
Yeah, but the only thing I've heard about that type of coaster is that they can be a bit rough.
That's what I've heard too.
They improved that in for the European one coming.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm a little surprised that CDA went with an RMC single rail for Wallaby Holland, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. Well, actually, it's 2025, so maybe we won't get into that. But then that they went with an Intamin version of it for their French park. Like, I'm surprised that they used buy them all from RMC. But that's just a loose thought.
Probably because what they bought from RMC was already constructed and they got it for cheap.
I don't know, because they're getting like a dueling, like two coasters. One is going to be not intense, one's going to be intense.
Yeah, true.
Single rail over by like Goliath, second airtime hill. Anyway, that's for next year's episode.
Yes. And one of the parks nearby means about 3 hours or something drive, is Le Pal, which will open a Mack water coaster called Fjord Explorer.
The name makes me laugh every time.
Why so?
because it sounds like Ford Explorer.
Oh yeah,
the iconic Ford crossover vehicle. It sounds like a really good pun. Like Americans will find it hilarious because it sounds like a pun. And like Worlds of Fun used to have. I'm sure they may still have it, but they had a flat ride called the Fjord Fairlane, which was a pun on the Ford Fairlane car, which they don't even make those anymore. But that was immediately when I heard Fjord Explorer, I just laughed because it was like, oh my god, we love American car puns, especially because it's probably not on purpose. They have no idea, but every American is going to laugh at that.
Yeah, because it references fjord, like the Norwegian
like a real
fjord. Yes.
Fjord Explorer.
But it's a nice addition for the park because they like to have like family thrill coasters. It's going to be a bit longer than the one at Nigloland, for example, the Krampus expedition. And what's even more fun is that I'm working on the ride. So
that's the best part of that ride already.
I mean, we're working on the queue line, and we added a nice story to it. So it will be exciting for people to discover it. And I mean, it's nothing too crazy because it's still like a regional park, but it's they really try to invest in quality, and that's what I like about this attraction. That it will fit perfectly with the nature approach of the park, because it's pretty much a zoo and a theme park in one. It fits perfectly in that Nordic themed area for sure. I think that's the major rides coming to France. So next up is Germany. And there's
that Germany list is thick.
Germany's doing the most.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes sense because Germany has the most theme parks in any country in Europe. So, but definitely a trend is that the smaller parks are investing in family roller coasters. There's about 6 new family roller coasters opening. Next
I'm
year.
impressed with some of these. Yeah.
So there's like Traumland auf der Bärenhöhle. My German is not that good, but you know, that's opening cute. Der Wichtel Express ART family coaster. So another art attraction opening next year. Nothing too crazy, 210 meters family coaster, but it will bring attention to the park. We have Jaderpark opening Ziegelblitz Gerstlauer bobsled coaster with a brick factory theme. So
cute.
It looks to be inspired by the original Gesenkte in Tripsdrill when I look at the layout. So it's I love that type of coaster, like Van Helsing.
I mean, I will say that is a good layout. Oh my god, Van Helsing is like the most underrated coaster on earth. Everyone, thank you for listening. Yes, no, this layout, particular one, the one from Tripsdrill originally, Gesenkte, that's also cloned in. Is it Farum Sommerland? No, Jura Sommerland as Thor's Hammer. It's just a great layout because it kind of does everything. It has a couple helices, has that Wabba section, some airtime hills. I think it's a great layout. I would love to see more of them. And they're so versatile with theming. Yeah, depending on how it looks at Jeda Park. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think I didn't see any statistics on it, but it might be a bit shorter. Not sure, but just looking at the pictures, it looks inspired by the Gesenkte Sau. So then we have Rastiland, which opens Verrückwarts. And actually, the coaster already opened in 23, but like just at the end of the season, like a soft opening for the fans out there. And it's SBF Visa family roller coaster and a shuttle coaster.
Nice.
SBF Visa has like a new division where they have really focused on family coasters. So it's more than their spinning type and it's a bit more plus, you know, like inspired by the Vekoma and like in that category.
I think we saw that in their booth at IAPA. They had like like SBF Visa had like done a total rebrand thing. They had like a whole different, I forget what the details were now, but remember that? It was like a big booth, and SBF Visa was just like part of this larger brand that they had now spun off into multiple sub-brands.
Not sure.
Yes, because also Skyline Park is getting that type of coaster, Berg- und Talhetz, family launched coaster, so not shuttle, but it looks like a larger layout. It was supposed to open this year, but they postponed it to 24. They're going to pop up for sure, those type of coasters. Now, Skyline Park also has a hyper coaster on their schedule, but it's unclear when, where, who will build it. It's like a...
How can a park like Skyline Park afford that?
Well, maybe they have a deal or something. The only things we know is that it will be a 70-meter high roller coaster and that it's a German manufacturer. Given that we haven't seen any construction going on, I don't think it will be for 24, but, who knows? It's a bit of an oddball park from what I've seen.
It looks very strange.
To go and visit it. So
Alex went and he said it was wild, but then this the other day I watched like a video of their lark flew and it's like a giant.
Feels like how I imagine Energylandia felt at the time, maybe like before they started building all their major rides, because you're just kind of like in a field and everything is disjointed, and there's like two halves of the park separated by like a service road. It's a funny park.
But I mean, with that one, they'll have 7 roller coasters, and then the Hyper would be the 8th one. So I mean, it's nice for the counter, that type of park. And then the final small park, Taunus Wonderland, will open Mondkatapult, a Mack powered coaster, about 500 meter long. Also there, they're putting themselves on the map with a family coaster.
You haven't talked about Serengeti Park yet, have you?
No.
No, okay.
Now I'm getting into the other parks, and we can talk about that one, Serengeti Park.
I'm fascinated by this ride's concept, because it is essentially a cross between like an SBF Visa spinner and a Gerstlauer Skyfly, where it has... Is it Interpark doing these, or is it Art Engineering?
No, it's RES, Ride Engineering Switzerland.
Okay.
So the track layout is done. And they're having issue with the trains, apparently. So what I loved about this is that when I was looking into this attraction, I found a video of the managing director that is like apologizing to the fans and to everyone about this attraction, saying, the ride is not ready. Unfortunately, it won't be ready for the fall season. And that they're doing everything they can to open it next year. But as it is a prototype, the first of its kind, it can happen. But if you look at pictures of that roller coaster track, it's a lot bigger than the concept art made you think.
Yeah, it looks like a really neat, impressive ride. And I just think on a conceptual level, that's so fun. Like the natural evolution of these barrel roll type rides that like Gerstlauer has developed, and then now I know Interpark has a version that's sort of like it kind of looks like a paratrooper, but it has those seats. Like I think the Legoland, one of the Legoland parks has one of those.
They're quite fun.
I love the support structure for it too, honestly. Like the giant tree-looking support structure.
It's beautiful, and this ride's not cheap. Like this is a major attraction. Probably my initial description of it being a cross between a flat ride and an SBF Visa spinner is probably not giving it enough credit.
No, it makes it sound so small.
But it's massive. It's a big ride for like a powered coaster, and it will have inversions if you're so inclined. There's an early concept of it that looks a lot more SBF Visa shaped, where it's like just a figure 8. Sean just pulled it up online, and I think that was the version that I saw when they had first announced this. But what they're doing is like a much bigger layout. with like multiple helixes and lots of height, but still very space efficient.
Yeah, so that's why, I mean, when that opens, it will draw me to that park for sure. 'Cause
100%. It just seems so cool.
Unique and cool, exactly, yeah. So definitely hope that they can open Gozimba in 24.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most interesting projects of the year for me.
But there's another one, and that's probably another one of those major coasters opening in 24 for Europe, where everyone is looking for, and that's Voltron Nevera in Europa Park, the first striker coaster. And I mean, I saw it when I was there a few weeks ago in Europa Park, and it's not that high, because you couldn't see it that well from the highway, for example, while Silver Star obviously stands out.
Sure.
It's 32.5 meters high, so I mean that's decent, but it's not like
it's not like a towering
skyline.
Like it's not even the fourth tallest coaster there, I guess. Well, maybe it is the fourth tallest coaster. If there's anything there that is not as tall as
it looks
Wodan,
similar in
Blue
height,
Fire.
like Blue Fire, yeah. And it didn't tower above the neighboring Euromir. So.
Oh yeah, so Euromir is probably taller too. So maybe it's like the fifth tallest coaster in the park.
Yeah, Blue Fire is higher. So. But yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that upwards launch into
the inverted launch
inversion.
Yeah,
that looks so interesting.
Man, I will say the ride looks really good. We look at the POVs that they've released, which is it's nice of them. Unlike Phantasialand, Europa Park just loves blasting every ride detail at you, and I love that. It's one of the few things I love about Europa Park, but. Yeah, the layout looks really banger. Like,
it's really long.
Like a good layout.
The length of it will be
7 inversions.
I think what people remember the most about that ride is how lengthy it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of substance, which we love that. So it'll be really cool.
I hope it can become more of a standout coaster for Europa Park, because don't get me wrong, because Wodan and Blue Fire and Silver Star, they are standout coasters.
No, but I agree.
Not in the European,
not globally or even
enthusiasts.
In Europe. They stand
the
out
lineup, despite
Europa.
having a lot of coasters, the average quality or importance of them is really not that great. Yeah. But this looks like it's going to perhaps be like their big standout coaster.
I feel like it'll be their first true like signature coaster,
and it's unique. I mean, Euromir is kind of unique, and, but it's just very unique. I think.
Yeah. Although that Wodan is. The more I ride it, especially in the winter in the dark, that's just a gem as well.
I do love that ride.
Yeah. But that's not all that's new for 24, because there was a little fire this year that happened. Not the
there was?
time in Europa Park, but
was that before or after the stage collapse for the water show? I can't remember.
Yeah, was it the one where people died or the one where people went to the hospital?
No, nobody died. No one has died.
No,
in
nobody
Europa
died.
Park
Nobody died.
Not yet.
No.
The century is young.
Maybe next year.
This next roller coaster is themed to like ungrounded electricity, so anything is possible.
But Europa Park is quick, and they're efficient in rebuilding things for sure.
Yeah.
So they will reopen the Alpen Express powered coaster
in the gem mine.
Well, not the gem mine. They will also reopen the Tiroler Wasserbahn, so the Lokflume. But it won't, from what I've seen, the concept art, there's no longer an indoor section, or at least not as huge as it used to be. But it will have like a walkthrough outdoor, but more like a adventure walkthrough, if you know.
Oh, like an adventure trail? Yeah, okay.
Like what Phantasialand did.
There's like Mumbai? Yeah, okay.
It looks like it, yes. So I think they're going more towards the Alpine Austrian style now that they can start from scratch.
That'd be nice though, because the concepts call for like waterfalls and a lot of rock work.
The concept looks really nice.
It looks very naturalistic, which is nice.
That it will be a really nice addition. Just like Piraten and Batavia was stunning. Like everything that they rebuilt after that fire was magnificent. So
for
I
sure.
hopes.
But I mean, it's nice. 2 new credits at once for 24 in Europa Park.
So the Alpen Express, are they completely demolishing all of it, or are they just replacing the parts that were damaged and are part of the new concept?
I'm not sure. We need to look into that, but it will probably be up for discussion if it's a new credit.
Enough of it, even if they don't replace all of it, I'm sure enough of it will have been replaced to qualify as a new credit. I'm counting the log flume as a new log flume.
Yeah, I think that's because I'm curious to see if they will redo the log flume themselves, because from what I've understood, Mac Rights doesn't do that anymore. And when I was there was no drop in the log flume, so
they had already demolished some of it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Mac's not doing them anymore. They did some good ones.
I can't recall the last one opening. So.
Oh yeah, but it's funny that like they used to be the authority on European log flumes. Like they were the aerodynamics of log flumes for Europe. In the 80s, if you wanted a log flume and you were in Europe or the United Kingdom, like you had to buy a Mac flume. And so some of these like incredible legacy flume rides are there. It's obviously like the Wallaby flume rides, Alton Towers when they had their flume ride. That was the
Holiday
the
Park
longest. Holiday Park
super big too.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that they don't do flumes anymore, because that was something that they did so well and they were like really famous for. Yeah, but you got to go where the money is, and if they weren't selling standard log flumes, by the time the 90s rolled around, they made a pretty nice switch into a new niche that they created, basically the water coaster niche.
Yeah, but let's continue because we still have a bit of a list to go. We have also 2 new smaller parks opening. One of them is the Bibi and Tina Park in Karls Erlebnisdorf, Elstal.
What a name!
Yes, it's
Bibi and Tina Park.
It's a local IP that gets integrated into the Karls Erlebnisdorf. So for those of you that do not know, Karls is like a group that has strawberry-themed parks. So it's basically like a little farm full of cute little rides. And,
it's giving Knott's Berry Farm, but German.
Yeah, and there's quite a few popping up in the future as well, because I think they have 4 new planned in Germany. So they're investing heavily. And but this is an addition, then a smaller new park to one of their existing parks. And then the other park that's getting a second gate, let's say, is Legoland Deutschland, which will open a Peppa Pig Land theme park.
Love that for her.
Isn't this park pretty much a clone of the one in Florida?
Yeah, it's a cut and paste park concept, because there's also one going to Texas.
Yeah, probably.
It'll be the only Peppa Pig park that is not part of a Legoland existing resort. She's taking over the world. I love that for her.
But and they're also opening a new hotel, if I'm not mistaken. So that's new for the Waldabenteuer Lodge. So more adventure themed lodge hotel coming there as well.
I really want to go there and ride Maximus.
Yes, me too, because I completed my B&M bingo in 2022, and then all of a sudden they opened 2 new ones this year.
Pulled the rug out from under.
So I need to get there as well. And then we have Phantasialand. Phantasialand has been plussing their themed areas lately, because as we mentioned, the adventure trail in the Africa area of the park, and for 24 they're opening Avoras, which is a new playground in the Woos Town area. So it's located where the former Magic Bikes used to be. They placed that in a different location in the area. And construction is almost finished, but was rumored to open end of this year, but they postponed it to spring 24. And there's pictures out there of a giant winged creature now as the weenie of the playground.
The weenie of the land.
The weenie.
Yeah.
That's a technical term.
But that's new for Phantasialand then in 24. Curious to see if what the future will bring for that park, because it's officially confirmed that Hollywood
Boat is done.
Coming back. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm so excited for the future of that park. Everything they do.
I just
really
wanted to
excites
take
me.
Temple the Lift Hill and turn it into my fantasy Droomvlucht themed roller coaster.
Yeah.
Through a fairy
Flight
tale
of the Fairy.
world. Flight of the Fairy. Fairy Lift
Temple
Hill.
of the Fae.
Lift Hill Fairy. Like anything.
We'll have to see. And to wrap up Germany, Tripsdrill is also adding a new attraction. Unknown yet what it will be, but there was an image of the footers, so it might be a small flat ride. We'll have to see what's coming there.
I love Tripsdrill.
Yeah, such a great park.
Tripsdrill is such a good park.
If
oh my God.
that park didn't have to share a country with Phantasialand, it would be the best park in the country.
Wait, but there are so many other good parks in the country.
I mean, Germany has like
That's a big statement.
has like
I
a
love the
knockout
parks in
top 5, but
Germany.
Phantasialand is, I think, the best.
Fantastic is good, Europa is good, Hansa is good,
Movie Park Germany
is good, FPG is good.
A personal favorite of ours.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Sehr
Yeah,
gut.
but Germany is definitely
Sehr good. Germany is the one.
A theme
Ganz
park.
schön.
Germany is that
amusement
girl.
park
Sehr toll.
country standout. But let's go to Italy. And in Italy we have sorry for the Italians, but Cavallino Matto. It's a smaller park, but it's been getting a bit on the radar ever since they bought the Skyrider from Canada's Wonderland.
Oh, that's what I recognize this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been investing in some nice rides, and they will open a second-hand Zamperla rapid log flume type, and will be Pirati, and also have some indoor sections. So
Where did this ride come from?
Yeah.
I do not remember, but
Sven's like,
somewhere.
that's in the past. It doesn't matter now.
yeah, exactly. No, sorry, I don't. My notes.
Maybe
do
it's
not
coming
mention
from
this
that park
information.
that closed in Italy that also had the Intamin hydraulic coaster that wound up in Vancouver and is a Zamperla product in the same vein as Top Thrill 2. Just guessing. Because if there's one way to snap up an easy, cheap ride, it's from a park that closed in the country that you're already located in.
To our listeners, if you know, let us know, and
Yeah.
then we'll talk about it in a future episode. Etnaland, famous for its Storm Mac coaster, is opening a Smurfs village area. So not only is the Smurfs invading with Plopsa in
the
Poland
Smurfs are
and Germany,
colonizing Mayaland, but they're also coming to Etnaland.
they're also coming to Italy. That was a bit of a surprise, but and potentially also with a flat ride, or a rethemed flat ride at least. And then Gardaland is getting a Native American themed attraction. We don't know
really,
what it is.
Gardaland,
but-
why?
Tread lightly, Gardaland.
Those times are past us. This European loves just putting like the Wild West theme out there and Native American theme out there, but like it's outplayed.
I think that's what they did with their looping coaster, like when they renamed
is that
it
what the
Shaman.
Shaman
Yeah.
thing
Shaman, yes. So it's close to Shaman that they're opening a new attraction.
I would like to know if they asked any
but,
indigenous people any advice on
I saw
how any of this should look.
I saw one fan account that was speculating that it could be like the Croc and Drop in Chessington, that it would be that type of attraction. But probably it's just a speculation. So we'll have to hold on a little bit longer to know what's coming there in 24. Sean, let's go to the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's not a very exciting year for us, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Well,
I mean, we have a second-hand roller coaster that's been delayed for a couple of years.
Well,
that may open in 2024.
You've got 7 parks doing things.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. Anyway, the first one we'll mention is Ridderstrijd and Avonturenpark Hellendoorn, which is the Raton Loco spinning Revertron spinning wild mouse coaster from La Feria that they have been reconstructing for 2 years now, but having issues with.
I dislocated my wrist on that coaster.
I know, that
Funny
thing
story.
was wild. So this is right across from where Balagos is, which is the Vekoma Loop and Corkscrew.
That ride had no business
Tornado
being
model.
open.
But that's like the biggest roller coaster in the country next year.
Yeah, the thing is about that one, so from what I've read is that TÜV didn't approve the construction, that it was not firm enough, so they had to demolish and rebuild the coaster. But the good news is that the track is fully up again. So that means that normally 24 should be the year for Ridderstrijd.
So
it's a good addition for them.
Went
I mean, the
from
park
Mexico
that
got
size.
scrapped, and so they had to build a totally new one on top of the footers. Is that what you're saying?
No,
No,
they had to
it's
reconstruct
like,
it. I guess
Yeah.
the construction quality wasn't good enough, so they had to completely break it down and rebuild it. It didn't pass inspection for construction quality.
But it'll still be
Yeah.
the same ride.
Yeah, but it's just the way that they put it together. I don't know if the bolts weren't tight
Mhm.
enough. Like, I don't know what the story is, but it wasn't approved.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Maybe it's a different construction company that put it together
I would have
afterwards.
thought that it was like, I'm surprised it was salvageable because
They got a good
the
deal on
Looper,
it,
La
sure.
Feria ran all of their rides into the ground. Like, metal fatigue was none of their concern.
Well,
So-
maybe they just inherited a really poorly maintained ride, and now they're paying the price.
Yeah, I'm surprised that anybody would take on such a project like that.
Well, Avonturenpark Hellendoorn is the size of a playground with some roller coasters and decent rides, but it's, I don't know, this is a pretty big ride for them, let's be honest.
And a Mac Flume.
Yeah, it is a big ride for them.
One of the oldest, if not the oldest.
Yeah. And then there's actually Dronerzand Attractiepark that should also get a new coaster.
Do we know what kind of coaster?
Probably just a family.
Like a
It's 300 meters long, so I don't think it will be too special. But again, if you want your Netherlands coaster bingo to be complete again, that might be a park for you next
Wait,
year.
how did you pronounce this place again?
Which one? The last one?
Drauwiener's Land?
Dronerzand.
Dronerzand. Drauwiener.
Wow, okay.
Drown in the sand, bro.
Okay. And
next
then,
up, Duinrail.
Yeah, some teacups.
Teacups.
Coming there, and near the fairy tale forest area, if I remember correctly.
And then, like, the
it's
biggest...
in barrel style.
And not just teacups, they're little teacups, apparently.
Yeah, because I'm teaching... well, I think you always say teacup use.
Are our teacups automatically always small?
That will be...
But
No, you
the
wouldn't
name
say
will
that.
be Tobbedanser.
Oh, never mind.
And so
Oh.
it's like it's built by Metaalbouw Emmen, and so it's wooden barrels where you'll sit in.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. It's called
Yeah, so
Table
it's not
Dancer. Am I hearing that correctly?
Tobbedanser.
What even is a tobbe? I guess
I mean,
like a
you're
barrel.
the Dutch guy.
I guess like an old word for barrel.
It sounds like he's saying table.
Yeah.
It sounds like Table Dancer.
No, it's babe. I know English. I know Dutch well enough to know that's not a table.
But you don't know what it actually is.
A tobbe is like a barrel, like an old word for it.
Yeah.
It's like a barrel dancer,
Exactly.
dancing barrels. You can laugh all you want,
Well,
but it is a really basic name.
It's a type of. It's more towards a bathtub, so it's like a wooden bathtub. It's called a tobbe.
Like a cast.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
imagining
like a-
some buxom
But you could
Dutch
also do
woman
laundry
popping
in it,
out of
you
a
know,
barrel
so
and
it's-
dancing.
You can do laundry. You can wash yourself. You can wash anything in the tobbe.
So it's
a
like
magical
a
thing.
large wooden bucket type of.
This is so
bathtub.
Dutch.
Like
This is
like a
just
trough.
so. Of course, because
Well,
of
that's
course
the-
it is.
That's the call.
Okay, how's the dialogue getting this much airtime? Next, Efteling.
Yeah, I think that's
frogs, and they have a great theme song.
Efteling is getting the ride of the Netherlands.
They are getting the ride.
Exactly, I think that's the largest one to talk about.
Yeah, Dansen Macabre is the giant new first ever Intamin. What is it's spinning theater? Is that
spinning theater?
Yeah.
I'd
it's
call
so
it
vague.
That, yeah.
Some sort of product, a new product that is going to have. Well, it's like a 360 dome above you, around you, and then your ride vehicles are also in a circular fashion spinning, and it's going to be a stimulating experience. It's the best way I'm going to put this.
Kate Bush would be proud. If this ride is giving Kate Bush, and I am so excited.
Don't we all love a good stimulating experience?
The patron saint of Efteling.
The patron saint of Efteling. Yeah, honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about this, except for the fact that it's in the same vein as Spookslot, has its own themed land around it-ish. Kind of small.
I mean, there's been a huge build-up by Efteling itself, story-wise, because
I know
they've
better
had
be good.
like the family being there, and each time in every season the story changed that the family was telling. So
the Spookslot family.
Yeah, I'm also not very familiar with the.
Sorry, I really struggle with Spookslot.
So I
really struggle.
I need Americans to understand to tell me why Alex is laughing right now.
Spookslot is not actually a sexy goth chick. It's actually a scary house.
Yeah, spook, like haunted, slots, like mansion, like big castle.
Whenever you say Spookslot, I'm like, oh, this is not for children. This is...
Okay, Alexander, focus.
This episode's already long enough, and I'm just making it longer. Let's continue.
Let's continue with Toverland's stat building. No kidding.
Yeah, I think for the Netherlands, Slagharen is adding some holiday homes. Toverland is building a staff building, so in the future, they are thinking about expanding with a resort type area as well, so accommodations for the future, but not for
some of them
for
filing permits, and then all the locals were going crazy because the locals have no life there.
But I think after that, Toverland has big plans for new rides coming, so and fixing their parachute drop tower. But let's go to Spain, to Tibidabo. And that park is getting a new ride, which I find
this is going to be a lit ride. This is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Because first of all, the views are incredible from the standing on the ground. And now we get to do it on a drop tower. I mean...
Yeah, a free fall from Funtime, 50 meters high. City. On something that's already so high up. So
yeah, this is cool.
That location is everything for that
Tibidabo is the best park in Spain.
Okay, that's a lot.
So I love that for her.
Well, here's the thing about Tibidabo. If you think, what I want to say is like that crazy 100-year-old bucket ride that goes really high up. That's probably still gonna be scarier.
Oh, that's one of the most terrifying rides I've ever
That thing is just terrifying. That shit's old.
It's over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's a really old ride, and then it's like the tallest ride there. But it's gonna be cool having a less scary drop ride next to it. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I can't wait to go back.
And then on to Switzerland, Coneyland, which is practically like the only major theme park.
Is that the park that has that PAX?
Yeah, they're adding to it, by the way.
Oh yeah, they expanded.
They're expanding it, so it doesn't valley as often.
She's getting the surgery.
She's getting plastic surgery.
Love that for her.
I'm not sure if that's for 24 actually.
Maybe later.
But the expansion.
But anyway, they're adding it already. I saw pictures of it. I thought, is it already finished?
But Rollerball, that is like the one that they added to Wiener Prater. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, and like Adventureland Long Island has
also Rollerball. And, I've ridden it in Wiener Prater when I was there. It was surprisingly okay. Like I expected it to be more of a gimmick ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like more fun than I expected. Some of them, like some of them being sort of like
the only sad thing is
themed, or
I think it never is gonna get like cause in RCT 3, sorry, but you have Dizzy Dropper. Yeah, that shit's wild. These just live nothing like that.
You know, the only reason that was included in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 was because
Skyline
Hershey Park was going to get one, and they had that agreement with Hershey Park, like their cross promotion. So they were like, well, this is going to be our new coaster, so like we have to let people build it in Roller Coaster Tycoon. And then I think the company went bankrupt or something. The company that was going to design that.
Dizzy Dropper.
Yeah, because it was going to be called Turbulence, and the product line was called Frequent Faller. But then for Roller Coaster Tycoon, they called it a Dizzy Dropper, I guess, to like avoid any infringement on the copyrights or something. And then it was canceled, and then they just put 2 little flat rides there instead.
And some of the concept arts showed that there would be dodgems underneath the rollerball. So,
oh, cool!
Another ride that could be added. And I think that leaves the UK and Ireland, but let's go to the UK first. Adventure Island is getting a drop tower / observation tower by SBF Visa, about 38 meters high. And the idea is that the ride cycle would be adapted, that sometimes it's actually dropping and sometimes it's just viewing.
So certain times of day?
Yes, just like Highlander at Hansa Park does.
The Ganta
Highlander does that?
Yes.
I didn't know Highlander did that. Our trivia was just for us it was just tilting or not tilting.
Yes.
Because it has the tilt function. So for us it was like first half of the day it was not tilting, and the second half of the day it was tilting. I mean, I
remember when Highlander was announced that was the plan for sure. So did they execute it? Not sure, but
okay. Well, that's cool. I think for especially Adventure Island, it'll be a nice fit.
Yeah, and then quite some roller coasters coming to the UK actually. First one being at Drayton Manor, Intamin Family roller coaster, and I saw a picture recently where there was like a tag on it saying spinning coaster. Okay. So that could mean that it's similar to Objective Mars at and Studio Tour. So Objective Mars at Futuroscope and Studio Tour at Movie Park Germany. But first of its kind in the UK. And obviously there's also the transformation of Shockwave from a stand-up coaster to a sit-down configuration as well.
Still sad that's happening, but it's okay. I never got to ride it as a stand-up.
I don't think you would have been very happy with the comfort level of the Intamin Giovanola stand-up vehicles. They were really something else. And it wasn't
understand, but I've ridden it front seat, and it was painful, but I'm still glad I got to ride it.
I loved it. I rode it twice, loved it, but it was like not... Because it's so weird, you have to like thread your arm through the static side of the restraint and then pull the other half down. Yeah. It's just so weird to me that it was that just seems so much more complicated than like what B&M would later be doing with the restraint system for stand-up coasters. So that was an odd one, but a neat ride, a fun layout. It doesn't do a whole lot, but I'm just glad that they're not demolishing it, because I thought that was going to happen. I thought they were going to chop the ride entirely, so...
Drayton Manor is a nice park, so it's good to see some changes there for 24, especially
I've been rooting for her.
A large roller coaster like that. And Legoland Windsor is also getting a new roller coaster. It's a minifigure speedway, and originally I thought it was going to be Vekoma, but it's actually a Zierer dueling family roller coaster.
Nice.
So that's double. And they'll also add the Woodland Village, so some accommodation, if I'm not mistaken.
I love that park. They have one of my favorite log flumes is at that Legoland park.
Oh.
And most Legolands don't even have a log flume, so I was really blown away, not just by them having a great log flume, but by that park even having one at all.
Yeah, well, I love the location of the park. Like
it's unbelievable.
That entrance is amazing. I have videos of airplanes landing on Heathrow from that location, so it's like nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then next up is South Airport Pleasureland that's rumored to have a roller coaster in 24, but it's unclear if there will actually be one now. So we'll have to see if there's it's coming eventually there.
Trying to remember what this park is.
Yeah, for now it's a very family oriented park. Honestly, I'm not very prepared for this park. But it's I thought there was a link between Blackpool Pleasure Beach and this park.
Well, there was, because didn't they was it Traumatized?
This is the park that had that SLC.
Yeah, that then became...
They had the old wooden coaster that got demolished in 2006.
Yeah, because in... God, why am I stuck at names today? The SLC at...
Infusion.
Infusion. Yeah. There you go. Blackpool came from Southport.
Yeah, the park, I remember now. The park went bankrupt and closed in 2006. Correct. And had to sell everything off. And they had the King Solomon's Mine, the wooden wild mouse, which Dreamland in Margate has possession of that ride now. The Solomon's Mine is famous for their little minecart vehicles that are immortalized in Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I'm very annoyed at Google at the moment because it seems like the Maps button is disappeared. So each time I look something up, I can't click Maps anymore, and sometimes it does, but you know. Anyway, let's go to the final major. Well, maybe not the final, but the one of the most anticipated roller coasters for Europe, and that's Hyperia.
Very excited for this.
The Mack roller coaster coming to Thor Park in 2024.
This looks like the coolest coaster.
I just like the flow of elements. It's it's very compact, but it does these really unique elements that you would traditionally see on a hypercoaster. It's almost like, everything it does, it's just, I haven't really seen it before. I'm really looking forward to it. I already thought that DC Super Rivals in Warner Bros. Gold Coast was already like a really unique approach to a hypercoaster, about inserting inversions and doing weird things. But this is just like taking it to the next level with the stall that becomes like a half loop, or vice versa. It just looks good. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I mean some nice statistics as well. 71 meters, 0.9 meters high, top speed of almost 130. So that's some decent.
Yeah, it's a big ride. It's a big ride. Isn't it the UK's tallest ride?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
And that's but they already had stealth, of course. So.
I know exactly. Yeah, so that's a big deal. They stepped over that.
And if I remember correctly, Colossus is getting a repaint as well.
It is. Yeah, it's almost done already. Yeah.
And the Angry Birds land, the IP is getting stripped, and it's getting a new theme, American themed.
Yeah, isn't it like Bourbon Street or something?
Could be, yeah.
New Orleans, Mardi Gras. I thought it was Mardi Gras. But I can't remember now. I could totally be lying to the listening public.
But so, yeah, that's also... So quite some new things coming there to Thorpe Park. So the UK has some nice things going on in 24 for sure. And then finally, we have Ireland. That's
last but not least...
A rare park to have on the list, a rare country even to have on the list for new things. But Emerald Park, the former Taito Park, is opening the Tirna Noch area, inspired by Merlin. And it has 2 new Vekoma coasters, a suspended thrill coaster and a family coaster. So similar to... Tripsdrill, that when they opened Volendamp and Hasselbekopf. But, I mean, the thrill coaster, it's quite something.
I'm so excited for them. Wasn't the Tripsdrill project originally contracted by Emerald Park, and then they had to delay or something, and Intamin or Vekoma sold it
It might be rumors about that. Yeah,
because that's what I'd heard, was that they were going to do this and then they had to back out, but the project was already under construction. Like Vekoma had already manufactured the ride, so then Tripsdrill got it, and so now they are trying again and successfully are making it happen. So I love a happy ending.
Yeah, but so at first I thought it was a clone, but the Suspended Thrill Coaster has 5 inversions instead of 3 at the one at Tripsdrill. 31 meter high, 90 kilometers max speed. So, and in general, I'm excited to visit this park at some point, because obviously the wooden coaster there looks amazing. They've been adding quite some rides to make it a full-fledged theme park. Even with no competition there, it's nice that they really want to invest in.
Yeah, it's great. I think that the public has just been so responsive to it being there. I think they're just so happy to have something like that. They've really latched on to it. Because when I went, it was barely a park. It was 2015. It's like they just opened the wooden coaster. They had like 3 major rides: the wooden coaster, the looping gyro swing, and they had like a kiddie area. Like, it was definitely still in its like prototype phase, and now they've got like a fully fleshed out theme park, which is really awesome. I can't wait to go back there.
Yeah, so that's our list. So, Sean, which attraction are you most excited about?
So I think it's gonna be between Hyperia and Voltron for me. I think Voltron will be the overall better product, better operation. You know, it's going to be a whole package. But I think the sheer size and uniqueness of elements that we're going to find on Hyperia is what I'm actually, you know, like, I have a hard time picking. One I think is a little more spectacular. One I think is going to be a better overall product. But I think for everyone, those are like the 2 standouts next year.
Yeah, I think Hyperia would be mine.
How about you, Sven?
I think of course, those 2 are like the major ones opening, but I'm
Fjord
intrigued
Explorer.
by the Mahuka coaster in.
That would be my third. Yeah, I would agree. Especially the theming on that looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me, my top 2 is that one, and then obviously the water ride in Bellewaerde.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I can't wait. That's going to be really
the thing
something.
with Hyperia is Thor Park. The first time I went there, I didn't really connect to the park. It was too thrilling, actually, for me.
That place is bizarre.
There's no mix of rides. So
it was like a roller coaster tycoon park where everything is a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. But so I'm not entirely sure if I'll make it there next year. But and then Voltron, I am excited for Voltron. Don't get me wrong. Europa Park is on the list for 24, for sure. But then, yeah, it's like Mahuka is more unique.
Yeah.
And in Bellewaerde, yeah, it's my home park, so it's nice to see a major addition like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think we're going to try and maybe fit Rhône-Alpes in somewhere next year, because you've been thinking of going, but, you know,
I want to do a trip combining Lopal and Walibi Rhône-Alpes, even though they're not that close, but, you know, they're close enough to make them work together, right?
Because between Timber, having the Boomerang, and then Mystic, I think that's honestly a pretty strong lineup for a non-Parisian French park. So, I'm looking really forward to finally going to Rhône-Alpes soon. Yeah, and it's near Lyon, right? Like, it's a pretty decent place to come to by train, is it? Sven, help me. No? Oh, shit. Okay. Well, a car will be rented then. It's okay.
It's not that easy.
Speaking it into existence. He's
get
like,
there
this
with
is
public
a very
transport.
accessible park, right?
Okay. Well, that's fine. A car will be rented. And with that, we'll end our longest episode of the year, right?
Yeah.
Probably the longest episode of the year. So, do you have anything to add? You were starting something.
No, I was just going to say 24 will be the year for the UK, for Germany, France, and Mac rides. I mean, there's still Danse Macabre, so that's decent.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then in 25,
special.
as you were saying, in 25 we'll have the RMC coming back. So
yeah, 25 will be a better year for sure. And with that, this was our longest episode of the year. We'll have one, maybe 2 more episodes this year. I'm not good at mathing right now. It's been a long day. But we will see you next week on another episode of Coast Kings Radio. And make sure you leave a rating or a review anywhere that you're listening. We appreciate you for following us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.